Photographing the Northern Lights Part 2. As I mentioned earlier, there aren't that many chances to test the camera settings during the Northern Light shows, especially in southern Finland. So I will show some differences in ISO settings and exposure times. It is easy to see the difference in example photos, and when you are in the field, you already know what you can try when hunting the lights. The pictures are not edited at all, and I think every picture would need to be edited more brighter. But they are just examples. The pictures have been taken during this show in Vihti, Nummela. ISO 1600 and 5 seconds exposure time. These were my guide settings to try at first, and in this situation it actually was the best. With a little editing in some photo app, this picture would be super, in my opinion. There is a bit blurriness since the lights were moving fast. ISO 1600 and 3.2 seconds. Very nice. Could be perhaps a little bit brighter though. Same situation, ISO 1600, 2.5 seconds. Little bit darker picture, but it is still very good. But the dimmer colors, like red from the top of the lights, are fading away a bit. But the moving lights look sharper and better than in 5 seconds exposure. ISO 1600 and 1.6 seconds and 1 second. These are now pretty dark pictures. The lights are probably also a bit more dimmer, but still it would be better to raise the ISO or the exposure time to get pictures brighter. ISO 1600 and 10 seconds. Great example how 10 seconds is too long with the fast-moving lights. It is very blurry picture. The lights are moving around and the sharpness disappears in the process. But remember that 10 seconds can be very good time if there is a dim northern light bow in the sky, for example. Here you can see the difference in amount of light. Notice how much brighter the landscape is in 10 seconds exposure time. ISO 800 and 5 seconds. The lights were so strong that it looks nice. ISO 800 and 2.5 seconds. Darker, but still okay. The colors on the top are much weaker. The 2.5 seconds and ISO 1600 was better. ISO 3200, 1.6 seconds. Here you can see how much lighter the ISO 3200 is, but it is leaving more noise to the picture. Zoomed in, you can see the amount of noise in different settings. In post-editing, there can be wonders that good photo editor could do. Unfortunately, I am so poor in photo editing of the Northern Lights, so I am not qualified to give you any great tips in it. Here are just examples what different popular tools do, just to you to understand what you can try to make a better result of your photos. And remember, these examples are way too much edited. just for example. One thing that can make a huge difference in the pictures is rising shadows. The landscapes tend to be super dark at night, and you cannot raise the ISO or the exposure time too much, because it will cause the northern lights to be overexposed. So the result is bright lights and dark environment. By raising the shadows, you can make overall brighter picture without ruining the lights in the sky. This is very raw example just to show what rising shadows will do. Clarity will make the picture, well, more clearer. I think a bit same effect will come by raising the contrast. Saturation is how you can boost the colors. This is also a risky thing to tamper, because it can go too far easily and the lights will turn out to look unnatural. This tool is probably the one that leaves a feeling that the lights are amazingly colorful and can make a disappointment when actually seeing the lights way more less colorful and bright. So be careful with this one. Vibrance will do a bit same thing that the saturation, but maybe in a little bit subtle way. If the pictures are too red or too warm, you can lower the temperature. Or too cold or blue, then you can raise the temperature. One thing that is really nice is noise reduction. While shooting in the dark, there will always be some noise in the pictures that doesn't look so nice. You can try to get rid of it with noise reduction. But be aware that this tool can also soften things, and some of the stars can even disappear if this is used very much. But it is worth trying. Other things that you can try to adjust are exposure if the picture is too dark or too bright. Whites or blacks if you want them to be brighter or darker. By lowering the blacks, the stars can be a bit more brighter. Contrast and sharpening if you want more clearer picture. With color tools like tint, you can adjust the white balance. If there is snow, for example, it could be nice that it would be white, not blue, for example. With a dehaze, you can try to make a more dramatic look. And finally, you can use all of these together to make the picture to look the way you want. Some prefer very natural look, some very punchy and colorful. I think there is no right or wrong. It is just a matter of opinion. So make the pictures as you like. Also, it is good to keep in mind that if you use very much these effects, they can also cause some noise and weird things in the picture. So maybe the best way is to start by just adding a little amount of things.